I call this video Evolution of an Idea, Invisibility and its Inverse Byproduct Holodecks, Revised Edition with supporting material, if I can fit that all into the title, because this video includes my claims, hopefully dated, I believe. Some of them were dated, of my claims of how long I've had my ideas that are very similar to the Las Vegas sphere and the invisibility suit on the Invisible Man movie in 2020, I believe. First of all, I don't have this actual paper anymore, but I have copies of it, and I have better resolution than what shows on here. It's dated 1995. I used to call it an invisible cell. And this down below is a cross section of it that I did in paint shop. And in some of my other diagrams, you can probably see it better, but you can see the wiring in the middle and the interface light going through. And it would produce results very similar to the Las Vegas sphere with their inside and their outside. And it could be even adapted even further to create portals with a holodeck and and a cloaking interface and the telepresent negative holodeck. And in another direction, my ideas, which I worked on in 1995, I believe it was, and I'll post a link to this idea too. It has yet to be realized, but I suspect that someday soon somebody's going to make this very concept, and it's dual adaptive camouflage. And on a side note, if I can find it. Yeah, on a side note, I actually spoke to the guy who coined the term adaptive camouflage for the science of invisibility back in the heyday of the early 2000s, 2005, I believe. And what he says right here is to answer an earlier question you asked in a previous email. I indeed was the one who coined the term adaptive camouflage. And that was Philip Moynihan of NASA Tech, I believe, NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And so this is the down below, the bottom picture is the image of the Invisible Man. Hollywood always depicts him in a sleek, sexy type way. My invisible suit, dual adaptive camouflage, for this reason, adaptable to itself and its outside environment. It's going to have a hump on its back. And so if my televisual portals in the indication of what has already been done, the Las Vegas sphere, you can pretty much bet that this is going to find its way into reality someday. And so not supporting material, I guess. This is a booklet I made because I knew I wasn't going to get any recognition around here, and I had an affidavit signed. This is very old, and it's not going to stand up in a patent court, but it says, I, the undersigned, Keith J. Carlock, after first being duly sworn, deposes and states that he is the original inventor of invisibility and holodeck technology. Exhibits A, B, C, D, and E are attached here to this 7th day of August 2002, Keith Jason Carlock. And these are the parts in here that are just totally scrambled now. Exhibit A, sketches of the hologram and sphere. Exhibit B, invention disclosure form from Littman Law Office and certificate of confidentiality. Exhibit C, invisibility official presentation or three-dimensional camouflage. Exhibit D, description and pictures explaining invisibility and holodeck technology via email. And Exhibit E, letter to the Copyright Office. I won't go over all these, but I'll go over the significant parts. This and the next image to follow are my very first foray into trying to make an object invisible. I didn't at the time even think that you could make light go through an object, let alone make it invisible, even though we can make light go through objects every day in different ways, but not actually to make something invisible just yet. So I had to tag these with different symbols to keep track of these lines. My goal was to have every angle of light go through to make it invisible. What I call a node is the center of these half circles that represent cross sections of three-dimensional picture elements. So this line begins here where this dot's at, goes through this node, but in a straight line it would miss the other node and it couldn't go through. This dot right here begins at this node, but it misses this node. These just show different instances. This square right here goes through, hits this node, but it doesn't hit this node. And so that was my exaggerated idea of sending every single angle of light through an object. It can't be done because we have a thing called pixel resolution. So I came up with a philosophy I called letting light fall where it may. So not all the light is going to go through every part of the pixel. Only the select parts that fall in line with both nodes, its own node and the node of its corresponding picture element at other angles to it, are going to be the only light that's going to be sent through. And you have to get used to, with the fall where it may philosophy, you have to get used to the idea that some parts will be redundant and some parts light would go through it twice, or light maybe not go through a 3D pixel at all. But that's called the fall where it may philosophy, and that led me to produce invisibility suits with a puppet interface that allowed light to exactly do just that, fall where it may. And that's the secret to adapting invisibility to non-spherical, irregularly shaped objects. This is another instance where light goes through one node but doesn't go to the other. And this is another instance, light goes through this node but doesn't go through this node. And I know it looks sort of silly, but these fall on the nodes. They're connecting nodes. You brush aside all other angles of light, and you let light fall where it may. And the ones that land on the nodes are the ones that make it through. And let me just go over this stuff real quick. These are all my old ideas of the interface, the object within an object, pixelated and connected by optical wiring. This is my idea of a TV in front and a camera in back, and a TV and camera in back on both sides of a person. This is my idea of extending that TV notion to like a triptych, sort of going all around the person at one horizontal angle. This is that triptych reduced to a sphere, and the person inside with an L on their shirt to show the translation and negative casting. And this is the inner hologram casting of the sphere to make the holodeck, the telepresent holodeck, the inner casting. And these are some diagrams where I had these ideas a long time ago. These are some, now this is the Littman stuff. I'm going to try to hide people's names who are no longer in my life. But this was signed by me and a former girlfriend on 10/6/1995. This shows light going through an object. This is the description to it. And these are different aspects. I think one starts out as a point, and you can see my mental processes of how I come up with invisibility in the Holodeck byproduct. This is another image. And these are images that I sent to, I didn't actually send, but I drew them up. Drew the picture of the guy with the TV in front and the camera in back, and the all-around view, and the three-dimensional picture elements. And again, I'll cover the name up, and signed by me, dated 10/6/1995. And this is my explanation. And so back at this again. These are, that's dated 1995. This is a cross section. It shows a televisual portal, the most realized aspect of what is currently going on with the invisible, with the Las Vegas sphere. And this shows my idea of a dual adaptive camouflage, what could be perfected if Hollywood got off of its kick of making invisibility suits sleek and sexy like the bottom picture. Not very sexy with those eye-looking lenses, but I thought of those eye-looking lenses too, those spinning eyes or whatever of the suit, and I'll include a link to that invisibility suit. And so this is a revised edition, and it's a bit longer than my first one. And I just wanted to show, oh yeah, this is my description of the invisibility official presentation 3D camouflage, three-dimensional camouflage. These show the total first principles of invisibility from an artist canvas to 2D television to total 3D invisibility. This is a PowerPoint presentation I did a long time ago in what was in Owensboro Community College. The perfect geometry of the sphere for rerouting light. And the perfect geometry of the sphere for rerouting light. Exterior and interior holographic properties of the interface, and I believe that might be it. But this is what I sent to our local press and got my rejection letter that states that they don't do work on scientific ideas like mine. And this is how long I've had my ideas in Invisibility and Holodecks. So thanks a lot.